Okay, so we're going to be looking at glass pipettes first. These are used for measuring liquid volumes between 1 and 25 mils. And we're going to be looking at 3 different types of pipettes that are illustrated in your protocol. The first and easiest to see is the volumetric delivery pipette. This is a pipette that is notable for the bulb in the middle with a volume listed on it. This one says 30. And this pipette has just a single demarcation, so it is only good for measuring the volume listed. So I can measure 30 mils with this pipette by taking in solution up to the demarcation and then expelling it. We also have a serological pipette, and this is the most common type of pipette you can see, where we have graduations all up the length of the pipette, in this case from 1 to 10 mils. And these demarcations go all the way down to the end. So I would measure a volume with this pipette by taking up solution up to the desired mark and then expelling all of it into my container. Finally, we have our Moore pipette, and this looks kind of like a serological pipette. The only difference is that the demarcations stop a few centimeters before the end of the pipette. So when I want to measure a specific volume with this pipette, I would take up solution up to the desired mark and then expel it down to the last mark, leaving a few centimeters of solution still in the pipette. So it would be important for me to make sure I'm working with a serological versus a Moore pipette in order to determine whether I need to expel all of the solution or just down to the last mark. And if I got it wrong, I would end up with an inaccurate volume. So that's important to recognize. So I'm going to just give you a quick demo of how these pipettes work using a rubber pipette bulb. This bulb has a bulb full of air, and it has 3 valves, A, S, and E. And each of these valves has a ball bearing in it that prevents air from getting through until I squeeze the valve, and then I can squeeze air out. So I will use this pipette by putting it on the end, or I use the pipette bulb by putting it on the end of my serological pipette, like that. And then I can squeeze the air out of the pipette bulb by squeezing the A valve, squeezing the air out of the bulb, letting go of the A valve, and we can see that the air stays out of the bulb now. Now I can take up solution by getting some solution here, on my other hand, putting the pipette just into the top of the solution, squeezing the S valve until the solution comes up to my desired marking, like so. I can take it out, and we can see that the solution stays in the pipette until I squeeze the E valve, and it all dribbles out into my waste container. One thing that I would never do is lay the pipette on its side while there is solution still in it. We want to avoid any solution from running back into the bulb. So as soon as I'm finished, I'm going to take that bulb off, and now I can lay the pipette down.